the short story is Mike DuPont calls me one day, lets me know that the juice is available. I go and look at it. We start cranking ideas out about how we're gonna try and not just not just go grab a piece of machinery for it to sit in my yard, but how we're gonna actually put that stuff back into operation. Like that's a big piece of equipment. It's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. To not have it being used for the community, for farmers to try and add some value to their crops is already just on waste to have it on the island, not doing nothing. And just so happens that that local food promotion program grant came out that year. We had now a piece of equipment that could add value to crops, and we decided to go after it. Kylie was hungry to try and write her first grant because that was a new position for her, and she wanted to prove that she was, viable in that field.
As being a farmer, as well as being a board member and many other things, I have that experience of seeing food that we aren't able to sell fall to the ground. From a farmer's perspective, it doesn't pay. You can't make enough money off of that type of a crop to make a living. We really wanted to change that. We really wanted to see how we can really support our farmers to grow a variety of foods. We were really excited because we saw that many of our soft-skinned fruits aren't able to make it off of the island. Rarely do they make it off of farms.
As a board member, this project made complete sense because one of the mission statements of Olohana is food security. So we ended up sourcing about maybe 500 or 600 pounds of guava for the test run. And so that was kind of one of the first couple of objectives when we got the juicer operational. And so then it was all about, okay, can we actually make a product? One of the farmers supplying us with guava, he was like, whoa, this guava deal's pretty good. It's nice having value to these. I think now I'm going to start taking care of those trees because if you guys are going to need guava every year, boy, I could really, that would really supplement my farm. But that's the whole point of the project, right? Is bringing value to something that already exists and making a product out of it. And so the more product that we can source on Big Island, turn into a product, and then, turn around and make available to the public is one less product that needs to be shipped in here. When the ships stop, when nothing can come into the island, Costco shelves are empty. And so that is why these projects are so crucial and why they are so important. Is the more food that we can source on the island and keep here and put it into an affordable product, then that would be great. So as a board member, I think this project was just a really good example of one of the small things that Olohana does on a really large scale.
It really is a food security project at heart. We're trying to gather things from the island, process it, and give it back to the people who live on the island. So I don't know how many other projects they have that are also, kind of like that double intention where you're not only trying to fulfill farmers helping add value so that they stay in business, but also just trying to keep your community fed, and feeding people is consistent. If you only feed people during the season, they only gonna come around during the season. Trying to figure out some of these gaps and make sure our community stays fed is, part of the reasons for these projects.
Another reason why this project was really relevant for Olohana was because Big Island has a lot of growing capacity. We have the ability to grow a lot of food. However, we do not have the ability to process all of that food and get that food to market. And so seeing this juicer machine, we were really excited about that because we were able to see that, we can take so much food and we can have it become readily available to our communities, especially here, which even though we do have such a high ability for growing, we still have a lot of food insecurity within our communities here. These communities need to have food that is able to be consumed by them, and what better way than to take the food that is in excess on our lands here and turn it into something that is available and delicious and nutritious.
So this is a 3-year project. We discovered that we had a lot of challenges. We had a lot of fun and we overcame these challenges. First of all, we got the award. We were so excited, right? And we're so appreciative of the USDA for having confidence in us to actually complete the project. And here we are now.
Within this feasibility study, seeing where we can set it up so that it's much more accessible to farmers in a space that is also food safety certified, so that we're able to take the product and give it out to our community in a safe way.